Running a brokerage is hard work, so whether you're focused on building your own sales pipeline, hiring the best agents, leveling up your team's production, or protecting culture you've built, you're in the right place. Real estate brings the challenges, and we share the solution. Welcome to the show dedicated to broker entrepreneurs. Welcome to the Brokerpreneur Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Brokerpreneur Podcast. I am John J. Rambo.
I'm coming for you, Murdoch.
Going for you, Murdoch. Dr. Ben Spears, I'm the Doctor of Flow. I'm here with the big guy, as usual, Commando.
The Wookiee Commando.
The Wookiee Commando Sasquatch, Matt Vi. How's it going, Matt?
I'm doing fantastic. Fantastic.
And Commando was such a good movie.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it's just like that was back in the day.
Yeah, Alyssa Milano was like, what, 4 years old in that movie?
Yeah, she was like 4 years old. Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't CGI.
Right.
He was just young and ripped.
Right.
Back in the good old days, guys. If you haven't seen Commando, go check it out. And that's what we're talking about today. I hope you have a great day. Matt, what if they say no, man? Is that what we're talking about?
That is what we're talking about. We're going to dig into that a little bit today. What if they say no? Like they don't want to set an appointment, but what if they say no after you've given it your pitch, you've given it your best, and they're like, nah,
you've talked about the 4 pillars.
Absolutely.
But guys, before we figure out how to combat that, or maybe how to just accept it, I don't know. We'll see what Matt's talking about. Make sure that you hit that follow and that subscribe button wherever you are. And don't forget, every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I think is what they call it now. It used to be Eastern Standard Time. I think it's Eastern Daylight Time now, ET.
Right.
We have Brokerpreneur Not So Secret Society, and that's where Matt and I are there live from 12 to 1. Brokers come in from across the country, podcast listeners, some of our current clients as well, and we just all sit there and we talk about brokerage strategies, about retention, recruiting, agent productivity. We just blow it out, and honestly, we just have a really good time.
It's a lot of fun.
And we get a lot of good laughs out of it.
I don't think you go more than 2 minutes without laughing.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And just know, if you're like crazy shy, man, there's like new people there every single week, and then they always keep coming back.
Yep.
Hopefully that's a good sign that they love it, or maybe it's just, man, that Dr. Ben guy, he just looks weird. I can't look away. So, Matt, we could be talking about scheduling appointments. We could be talking about actually showing up to the interviews. We could talk about having the interview, and then you're like, close them, and you're like, all right, ready to sign the paper?
We've talked about a lot. Did you already do the like and subscribe thing and all that?
Yeah, I started with that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I do that before the Brokerpreneur Not So Secret Society. Welcome to the episode. Matt,
sorry.
Welcome to the episode. What if they say no, man?
Knee-jerk reaction is beep, beep. Those
son
beep,
of a
beep. Right. Oh, man, but what do you really do? What's the right thing to do?
What's the right thing to do?
Man.
Because that's what we want to do as brokerpreneurs, Matt.
We do.
We want to do the right thing.
We do. How many times have we coached people and coached them out of doing that crazy thing, and somebody comes back later and joins their brokerage a year later, 9 months later, 6 months later, 2 years later, whatever the deal is.
Yeah.
You got to say thank you first, man. I just think you got to come from that place, no matter how much it stings. You got to put it out there and just go, thanks for taking the time to meet with me, or thanks for taking the time for taking my phone call, or thanks for the whatever.
Yeah.
That you appreciate. Because most of the time, it's their busy day, man.
Yeah.
If you're talking to productive agents, if that's who you're trying to get in your brokerage, they took time out of a busy day to slow down and talk to you.
Yeah.
Just tell them thank you. Just start with that.
That's hard, though.
It is. It's hard to be rejected and put your best foot forward. Huh?
And then thank them for it.
And then thank them for it.
Yeah.
So the big thing that I would probably try to make the takeaway on that would be, if you're having a hard time thinking, I really shouldn't thank them for after all I did and after all I offered, and then they're just going to whatever. If you're having a hard time with that, then look at it like this. If you truly come from a place of being grateful and thanking them, there is a chance that you're going to get to do some of the other things that we're about to talk about.
Yep.
It's going to give you that chance to explore some things that are going to make it less often that you get that no.
Okay, so I heard the word explore, so that means you're probably going to ask some questions.
Oh, you know it.
You probably start off with the typical ones like, what's your favorite color?
Yeah, something like that. Close.
Black beans, pinto beans.
Something like that.
What's the first question you ask if someone's nah, pass?
Yeah, Ben, I appreciate you taking a couple minutes to talk to me about it. I sincerely do, and of course, I respect that. I respect your decision. I'd just love to understand what was the main thing that kept us from being able to work together.
Gotcha.
and try to figure out what that is.
Yep.
Okay. This is where you go 3 deep.
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause this is where you're going to have
If
to.
you're new to the podcast,
Yeah.
then go watch another episode that talks about 3D.
That's right. You need to be able to get to the root of that.
Yeah.
Root. We're looking for the root cause here.
Yes.
And a lot of times you're going to say, "Oh, it makes more money if I go with it." I don't. Bull crap. Okay. Not that doesn't matter, and not that doesn't impact things, because it
Right.
does.
Of
Okay?
course.
But that doesn't mean that is the sole and only reason. It's typically not the number one reason.
Yeah.
But it's an easy one.
Yeah.
It's an easy differentiator.
Easy to say. Yeah.
And sometimes if they don't want to be completely forthright with you, what they're going to go is they're going to go with that easiest answer to try to get you off their back.
Yeah.
You know? And so if you ask, what was the determining factor that didn't allow us to work together, if you don't mind me asking? And they say, oh, it was the commission splitter, it was the whatever. And then at that point, you can ask another one of these questions that we're going to go through, right?
Yeah.
And you can say something like, was there anything that I could do, depending on whether you still want them or whatever the deal is? Is there anything I could do that could help you feel more comfortable with us working together?
Yeah.
Is there anything I could do that would allow us to work together in the future? Is there anything that would help me understand how I could better offer something to you that's going to help you grow your business? You're basically opening that door to see if they're interested in potentially you two working together going forward.
Yeah. And then I would just add to that, not from a place of desperation, not asking like, was there anything that I can do to change your mind or that kind of thing? Because I think it's easy, depending on where people are in their business.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it can be easy to go down that road if they think, all right, this is my last chance.
Right.
They said no. Let's just throw out all the cards. Is there anything that I can do? I'll shave my head. You can put it on video.
Yep.
Then just make sure that you're coming at that still from a place of strength
Absolutely.
and not desperation.
Yeah. So it's a negotiation.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we were talking to somebody on a coaching call the other day, and we talked about before you go into this meeting with somebody that you want, know what you're willing to do, and then know if there's any flexibility in any of that.
Okay.
Don't do it on the fly. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been sitting at a meeting before. We were eating a meal, and I was the one running things to try to keep it on track. Used the bathroom, came back, and there was another deal happening at the time,
Yeah.
and it did not end well.
Of course.
And it wasn't because we didn't need to do what we were doing.
Right.
Okay. We did want an extremely productive person in an office that really needed that person. But I think we probably could have got that without that happening. Right.
Without concession.
Absolutely. Without doing that. And just whenever you're there, make sure that you know if there's more than one person, if it's more than just you, make sure you know who's making the deal. Make sure you know where you're flexible at. Make sure you know what is going to make sense for you and not make sense for you. Have an idea of that. Have a general idea of that, first of all, with everyone.
Yeah.
And then specifically with that person. That's why when we talk about our interview process, we tell people to ask, here's the fundamentals of business. Which one of these fundamentals is most important to you, so we can start talking about that one first, right? The reason why we ask that is because if I have that conversation while I'm talking now, I'm understanding in my head, okay, if I have to make a concession, I know where to make that concession because of that question I've already explored with them. I've already asked them what matters the most to you. And that's most likely where I'm going to have to make that concession. You follow me?
Yep. That makes absolutely perfect sense. We have on here, ask them why they said no, ask them what would change it to make a yes, ask them when it would be appropriate to follow up. You brought in the F word, number 3, man.
Right. Just like that.
You can't bring that in so quick. You're
Yeah,
going
you
to scare people off.
Yeah. Ben, I understand completely that you'd love to join that other brokerage instead of my brokerage.
I would.
I appreciate the chance for us to have at least talked about it. I
Yep.
really do. I know things don't always work out the way that they're supposed to. Is it okay if I just kind of stay connected and stay in touch? And as I come across stuff that's great things that might help you out with your business, are you okay with me sending those over to you?
Man, I would just love it if you just watch my production over the next 12 months. Man, I just want you to be thinking to yourself, man, I wish I'd have made those concessions.
There's absolutely something to be said for making sure that you get their permission to do that follow-up.
Yeah.
In part because it's going to cause you to feel obligated to follow up. If you're sitting there and you say that to that person and you say, do you mind if I follow up? And then you don't follow up, you're a liar and you know it.
Yep.
And so what that does, that gives you permission to follow up with them, but more importantly, gives you an obligation and some accountability to be able to do that. So that's a big deal. I would make sure that I ask that as much as I could with everybody. Okay.
Yep. I like that. This next one kind of throws me off a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it's out of order.
Yeah.
Because it says, ask them what is their 3-year goal.
Yeah. So this isn't an order. What we're going over right now is not an
But
order.
they're still all after.
Yeah.
After
Absolutely.
they say no. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it. This isn't like do this 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I totally get that.
Yep.
Ask them what, after they've already said no, you're trash. That's what they say. Ask them what is their 3-year goal. Typically, you get brokers who are going to ask like that in the first
Absolutely.
5 minutes of the interview.
Absolutely.
Are you saying don't do that then? Or are you saying just do it again?
No, great question.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not saying do it again. If they already told you what the 3-year goal is, then just ask them what their 5-year goal is. Or if you've talked about what your 1-year goal is, ask what your 3-year goal is. But let me give you a very straightforward example of this.
Sure thing.
Hey, Ben, I understand your decision completely, really, and I just appreciate us having the chance to work together. I'd love to follow up and stay connected. If I come across great stuff, I'd love to send it your way. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course, man. I would love that.
And I want to make sure that as much as possible, I'm sending you things that would help you out. And we talked about your 1-year goal, but we didn't talk about your 3-year goal. Can you tell me a little bit about your 3-year goal? How many units do you think you would do over that time period? And you're going to start a team at that point? Or you mentioned in our meeting that you were going to start a team. What do you think your team will be size-wise at that point? Now what I'm doing, I'm not trying to reopen that conversation. I'm just basically saying I'm going to bring value to you, and I want to make it specific to what it is that you're trying to accomplish.
What if they say, I want to own your brokerage? That's what you did.
It is.
Matt gets his license. Matt gets his license like 2 years. He owns the brokerage. How do you do that? What do you say? Murdoch.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody comes in and they're just like, Matt, just don't recruit them. But yeah, that makes perfect sense, right? Because you want to have that specific follow-up.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be the broker that says, hey, I hope that your kids are doing well or your pets are doing well. You want to be able to say, hey, I hope your dog, Griff, is still running around causing trouble. Sets you apart. So the same thing when it comes to the goals. If they're like, gosh, I want to build a team, or man, the last thing I want is a team. You don't want to be sending value
that's about a team if they don't want to be a team. That's right.
Exactly right. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. So you're asking those goals to make sure that the follow-up that you got permission to send. Hey, Dr. Ben here. I hope you're enjoying this episode. If sometimes you feel overloaded or alone when it comes to building your brokerage, I want you to know that we are here for you. There's so much support available to agents, but hardly any dedicated to brokers. I want to personally invite you to schedule a complimentary strategy call where Matt will help you build a 3-step profitability plan that will immediately produce results. This is not a sales pitch. There's no obligation. Simply click the link in the description below. Now let's get back to the show. Is actually specific to things that they want to accomplish.
Because now you put a note in your CRM, you keep up with it, you make sure that it's accurate, and then as you come across great stuff, you're just able to share those specific things with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And once you found out this is why this person didn't join or why they decided maybe to take into a different direction, it makes it easier to ask the next one on here of, do you know anyone, that my brokerage might be a good fit for? And maybe they're just going to send you the people they don't like, but maybe those are the best people for your cult. Maybe they don't like nice people. Who knows? But yeah.
Yeah, and that brings up a great point. If they're a jerk, man, just thank them, and move the hell on.
Yeah,
okay.
Quick.
Yeah, because birds of a feather.
That's exactly right.
But if it's somebody that you want, if it's somebody that you really think would thrive in your environment, absolutely, you want to say things like, I'm sorry, I'm super grateful for the chance for us to have talked and everything, and I'd love to stay connected and follow up and send you things that are going to help and everything. Do you mind if whenever we stay connected that anybody that you come across would be a good fit? Do you think you'd feel comfortable referring them to me if you think they would be a good fit at my office? Because, man, I sure would appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, it's real estate, accept, decline, or amend. It's going to be yes, no, or maybe. You will get business from that. You will get people saying this person might be a good fit. I would say a pretty good percentage of the time. I'm just going to throw it out there, 20% of the time.
Yeah, 21.
All right, 21.
I'm going to go by one.
220, 221, whatever it takes.
Yeah, it gives me the larger end of the spectrum to be right.
Gotcha.
$1, Bob.
I gotcha.
So, yeah, that makes perfect sense. As usual. Sorry, I thought you were like, give me a hand signal. Like, hold on a second. No. I got something else to say.
Ben, I think we all know I'll just cut you off.
Whatever, just pull your ear. Okay. Smack me in the face.
We all know.
This one I really want to hear. This one I'm actually pretty darn excited about because I'm thinking to myself, I'm a broker. I'm not. But if I was, and someone says, you know what, I've decided to join another brokerage or go somewhere else or whatever. Ask them what they're most excited about with the decision that they made. So they've told you no, and you're like, tell me, what are you so excited about after telling me no? How and
why the hell?
Why the hell?
Here's why.
Okay.
Man, you need to know your competition.
Yeah.
You need to know what motivated them.
Yeah.
If I'm going to follow up later, hey, Ben, again, I really appreciate the chance that we were able to sit down and everything. I'm super grateful that you gave me a chance to walk you through what it is that we offer. And I'm glad that you're excited about the company that you're going to. I do plan on following up and staying connected. If you come across anybody that's a great fit, just let me know. But I got to ask, what are you most excited about with your new brokerage? What do you think is really going to help you the most in your business with them?
Yeah. It's commission split, obviously. It's the only thing that anybody ever goes anywhere else.
And so great. So the commission split, making those extra dollars, are you going to reinvest those, or is that just going to take you on that dream vacation you're looking for?
Yeah, man, I don't know. Some shoes I'm looking at.
Right. Gotcha.
New bag.
Man, I got to get off the phone.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. I got 6 listing appointments this evening.
Right. Yeah, that's about right. Yep. So what you're doing at that point is you're seeing what it was that maybe you missed in your explanation of what it is that you do. Because the stinging part about this is going to be, they're going to say, oh, they've got this great program that helps me with all my social media marketing. And you're like, what? We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
That there's a chance that could happen. Okay. But the other thing that you're looking for is to see if they really are excited about something that is really going to help them with their business. Is it really going to make their business any better? Is it really going to help them grow their business? And that gives you a reason to follow up with them. Now, when I follow up 6 months later, 10 months later, and I go, hey, Ben, it's Matt. Man, I know you're super busy. I just wanted to call and check in, make sure that you were crushing it with that new social media program that they've got.
Yeah.
And so it gives you that chance to be able to follow up and follow through. Yeah, everybody here loves it. Okay, I'm going to make a note of that. That company has this program, and they're actually using it, and a bunch of agents in their office are using it. I need to make sure I address that, or I need to look at it and see if it's something I need to offer.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, it wasn't what I thought it would be, which happens a lot.
You know it.
And so this gives you that chance. You're not going in there and going, okay, what sucks so much about this company? What do you hate? You're doing the exact opposite. What do you like? Because that's what would attract people to that brokerage. That's
Absolutely.
what would help them make that decision to go to that brokerage. Why you want to spend so much time on what the other brokerage isn't good at and what they don't like and what they aren't offering? Don't try to differentiate yourself on that. The reason why people are going there and deciding to go there, you need to know what that is. In order to do that, you got to ask that question.
Yeah. No, I like that. You know what I should have said instead of commission split?
What's that?
Leads.
I got you.
I should have said leads.
I got you.
And a welcome package.
Even when you don't hire anybody.
Yeah. And so the last one, Matt, ask them if there's anything that you can do to help them. That's like the most Matt question I've ever heard in my life.
Yep.
And go ahead and talk about that, and then tell me when you're done, and I'll tell people how to follow us.
Here's why I would say to ask that. If that truly is who you are, if that's the kind of person you really want to help them out, you want to make sure that they know that. That's absolutely part of it. Oh, that also gives you that chance, that built-in chance to follow up.
Yep.
Okay. It's you proving that what you said you were, that they would have actually gotten that from you. Okay. There's a whole bunch of that. But there's a chance that whenever you say that, they're going to understand at that point that if it doesn't work out with that other person, that without you having to say, okay, look, if everything falls apart over there, you got to come see me first.
Yeah.
If you're basically saying, hey, is there anything I can do to help make this transition smoother for you?
Yeah.
They're probably, most of the time, they're not going to say, most of the time what you will end up hearing is, yeah, just pray it works out the way I think it is.
Yeah.
That's a lot of that answer that you'll get. This gives you that chance to make sure you give that lasting impression of what it was that you're going to be there, what it was that you said you were going to do. You're going to do it. You're going to be there for them.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something creative to say. I can't always do that, but you're creative. And so it's almost, you don't want to have the last laugh. You want to have the last something else. You can figure that out. And then we'll put it on like a t-shirt and we'll sell it to you guys. We're not going to sell it. We don't have t-shirts to sell you guys. But if it's good, I'm going to make a t-shirt and I'll just wear it myself. Right. You guys let me know if you want one. I'll just send you one. Matt, anything else before I put a little bow on it?
I think we're good.
Awesome, guys. Wherever you're listening to this, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, any of those platforms, make sure you hit that follow button. If you're watching us on YouTube,
what's up?
Make sure that red subscribe button, that bell right beside it, get notified every time we drop a new episode. there's no better time than the present than to go to brokerpreneurpodcast.com. Check out all the cool things that we have there for your brokerage, no matter what stage or phase of the business that you're in. Check out Brokerpreneur Not So Secret Society as well. All the links to some cool stuff are in the description below. Matt, we do all of that and more.
And more.
For one reason and one reason alone. Tell them why that is.
Man, we just want to be part of your win. Thanks.